Hello and welcome to another episode of the Driven Shot podcast. My name is Peter Muneme, also known as Barca DNA on Twitter. And today will be the match review between FC Barcelona and Getafe. Barca winning 3-0 thanks to a brace from Ferran Torres and a goal from Dani Olmo. And so, without further ado, let's get to it. So we set the stage for this game being 72 hours after Barca's victory against Newcastle at St. James Park. And I have to say, playing Newcastle and Getafe within the same week is not an easy task for any team, let alone Barcelona. This was a very, very physical game, as Barca found out. Getafe, as usual, were dogmatic. They were aggressive. They made foul after foul after foul, whether it was on the ball, whether it was off the ball. We saw antics from the bench. I mean, this was really, really, really nasty for Barca to endure. The blessing being for Barca that this was a home game. I think if this was away at Getafe, this probably would have been too much, but being that it was a home game, Barca were able to control the game. They had the fans on their side. The referee did struggle to handle affairs, but in the end did quite well to stamp out any sort of nonsense there from Getafe to open this game up. Barca, to their credit, did not allow the physicality to daunt them. They controlled the game. They played well from the start. They pinned their opponents back. And really, Getafe could not get beyond their own halfway line for the opening 20 or so minutes of the game. And Barca found their opening goal in the 15th minute. Really good play there as Rafinha receives the ball from Frenkie de Jong, cuts inside, plays a wonderful pass into the channel. He spots the run of Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo then knows where Ferran Torres is. Good first touch, really, really nice back heel into the path of Ferran Torres, who scores the goal. Really good finish from him there. And Barca, at that point, not only take the lead, but because of that first goal, it meant that Getafe really couldn't be as negative as they would have wanted to. They couldn't sit back and play with a deep block and try to frustrate Barca because they had to try and get themselves back in the game. Barca, as a result, got on the ball more, had more freedom to play, more control in their game. There were spaces being exploited. And Getafe, the one time they actually got forward and earned the set piece, they were punished from that set piece. In the 34th minute, they make a mess of their own corner. Barca wins the ball back, plays a lovely ball over the top to Rafinha, who was in his own half when the pass was played. Therefore, he was onside, and he's running into a cow's field of space. He then plays a lovely ball across the pitch for Ferran Torres, who's through on goal, has so much space. And also, the key thing is, he has so much time to think about how he's going to finish this play off. And I distinctly remember that the Ferran Torres from last season would miss these sorts of chances, especially when he's being presented with a lot of time to finish. A key example came against Atletico Madrid in the Copa del Rey in that first leg there at the Montjuic, where Ferran Torres would be played in behind, but would miss his lines in those sorts of moments. But here, he was very composed. He gave the goalkeeper the eyes. He picked his corner. Very, very deceptive, but a very good finish from Ferran Torres. Barca at that point were up by 2 goals. And to be fair, it could have been 3, it could have been 4, and perhaps Lewandowski, Ferran Torres should have scored. Leva had a really good chance there that was saved by the goalkeeper. But Ferran Torres, for me, had the better chance and probably should have got his hat-trick within that first half. Pedri plays a lovely ball over the top. Ferran Torres lets it bounce, hits it on the half volley. It's a really good strike, but sadly for him, the strike cannons off the crossbar. We've seen Ferran Torres a lot of times this season hit the crossbar, and that left Barcelona up by 2 goals at halftime, in control, playing well. But really, Getafe's physicality and their constant fouls did cause some flashpoints. There was tension throughout that first half as Koundé, like I mentioned earlier, was kicked time after time after time again, and this led to the referee having to get involved. There were some flashpoints there, confrontations. Rafinha nearly got himself sent off there. A little push on a Getafe player who tried to make a meal of it. And in the end, smart play from Hansi Flick I think Rafinha also suffered a knock in the first half, so Flick just told him, hey, halftime, that's it, you're coming off. Rashford came onto the pitch, and to be fair to Getafe, they did improve in the second half, at least for the opening 10 or so minutes. They stepped up their lines, they were more aggressive, they got on the ball, they tried to make things happen, and they came very close to scoring within a few minutes there of the second half. Hansi Flick saw the game getting away from his players. Perhaps a little bit of fatigue did settle in. After all, the midfield was the same that took on Newcastle a few days ago, so perhaps there was some fatigue that was coming in for these players. In the end, Flick was smart. He made changes once more to bring on Mark Casado onto the pitch, and Barca on the 62nd minute would make the game 3-0 and put it away. A simple build-up play from Barca in the end. Good moments there, good passing. The ball gets to Marc Casado. He plays a really good ball into the channel. Marcus Rashford uses pace, got in behind, plays a very good cutback. It misses Lewandowski, but it falls for Dani Olmo and for Fermin Lopez. Both players were running onto the ball. In the end, it's Dani Olmo who strikes it. A good finish for him. Barca, 3 goals up, and really the game was over at that point. Barca controlled the match very well. Once more, I'm very impressed with the midfield there, whether it was Frenkie de Jong or Pedri or Dani Olmo or Fermin Lopez. Very, very good play there from them. They really did control the game. It was lovely to see. And Barca played at a very high level. I have to say this. They played at a very high level in this game. And when Getafe did have the odd chance, I was very impressed once again with Joan Garcia. I thought he was phenomenal in this game, as he has been all season. Really good saves. And what I loved in particular from him today is he didn't spill anything. It didn't matter whether it was a set piece, whether it was a header towards goal, whether it was a low-driven shot. He was incredible. He really he commanded such a good presence in goal. He gave his backline so much confidence, and today he was amazing. Likewise, credit to Jules Koundé in particular. He got a lot of rough treatment in this game, and I am very, very surprised that he did not suffer any injury coming out of this match. So I am delighted with his performance. Likewise, with Christensen and Eric Garcia, I thought they were fantastic in defense, really did play at their best today. And it's good to see because over the course of a long season, they will be needed to cover up in defense. Both Araujo and Cubarsí got some much needed rest, Cubarsí missing the game entirely. And so it's good to see that in their absence, Eric Garcia and Christensen can also step up. Likewise with Gerard Martin, who had a very good game once again today. I'm very, very impressed by his standards, by how he's playing in place of Balde. And hopefully on that note, when it comes to Balde, he will be back soon. I think Flick is aiming to have him back against Oviedo, if not at the weekend against Real Sociedad. But overall for Barca, it's a very good game. We did see Bargi come onto the pitch. The only downside for Barcelona was the injury to Fermin Lopez. He did suffer towards the end of the game there when the referee blew for full time. We saw Fermin Lopez there on the ground. The camera panned to him, and he wasn't doing too well. It seemed as if he suffered some sort of injury, and it has been reported that the injury he suffered was a groin strain. Now, we don't know how serious this was. This could have been a similar injury that we saw Lamine suffer, which means he could be gone for 2 to 3 weeks. Or it could just be perhaps a precaution. Maybe it's a bit of a strain that he has that maybe goes away by tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, it's not too serious because for Fermin Lopez, he has had such a good start to the season, so it would be a shame if that was cut short via injury. I also want to speak about Dani Olmo in this game and Marcus Rashford. On Rashford, it's very good to see him getting an assist and continuing to build his form into the season. With Dani Olmo, likewise, a goal and an assist for him today. Very good to see him get his season off and running, especially now because he is going to be called into more action with the injury of Fermin. And hopefully for Dani Olmo, for his sake, he can build some confidence going into the season and take advantage of this next run of games to really make an impact in this team. Overall, tonight we saw a very good Barcelona, especially a team that had to respond after Real Madrid won against Espanyol last night and were 5 points clear at the start of this game. So Barca had to win. They did. They also kept the clean sheet. They've scored 16 goals in 5 matches and have only conceded 3. So a very, very good start to the season. Barcelona's unbeaten run continues. And so that'll be it for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave your thoughts and comments down below. And I will see you very, very soon. Until then, take care, stay safe, and Visca Barça!